This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. Okay, so I wanted to do a video today about what I think is possibly one of Cliff's favourite amps in the Fractal audio Fractalverse. These videos into the Fractalverse, I like to kind of explain from my point of view little windows that we can get into some of the vast capabilities of the Fractal stuff. I think it can be quite overwhelming in some ways, so it's nice to kind of have a bit of a window into the Fractalverse. That's the idea with this. So let's just set up the output blocks here. Output 2 is what I use on my Fractal FM3, and then obviously we need input 1 here, so we should have stuff happening. Right, so the Carol Ann Tucana is a little bit of a strange amp in some ways. You may not have heard of it. I think a lot of people who have heard of it via Fractal stuff. Now, it's based on a real amp in real life, and we've got 2 channels here. Cliff, who is the brains behind Fractal Audio, says that this is one of his favourite amps. He prefers it to both the real Dumble and the real Trainwreck and countless other boutique amps that he has. Big words when you've got a Dumble. Most of us are never even going to touch one, let alone own one, and so kind of interesting to hear him say. So the maker of the amp said that his favourite thing to favourite kind of cab to pair with this is the H65 type speaker. So let's go with some of these Bluedo options. So I'm going to use B on this side, and then on this side, again, we'll just filter by 65, and other really good options, anything that works with a Dumble essentially. So let's try the 160B off axis maybe. And so then we got the clean channel. I'm playing with a Les Paul. And we got gain, presence, and master volume. He said that this is designed to be more or less a preamp type, master volume type amp, so you're not going to get loads of benefit from cranking to the master, but let's add in a little bit of reverb. And we're going to go with Sunplate, and let's have high quality, spoil ourselves on a Thursday. Seems like it's doing loads of stuff, even on the clean channel. Got a lovely kind of smooth feel to it, touch responsive as well. Crank the bass up a bit if we want. Have we got any input EQ on? No. So yeah. I think that would take pedals quite nicely as well. The real amp is supposed to, according to its designer. So Blues OD is a recent kind of thing that I've found to be quite cool. So a cool clean channel that can actually do quite a bit of gain. Then if you hit that, cool, so that's kind of the clean side of things. So we'll just call this clean. Let's move over to scene 2, and I'm going to keep that drive the same. I want to keep the cab the same. The only thing I want to change is this amp to the Carol Ann Tucana lead, which is going to be a little bit more complicated, I think, but should still be, I think, quite pleasant. Let's turn the drive off to start with. Now jump into the amp. We've got gain over drive. You'll be familiar with this sort of setup from like Dumble. I think it's probably something like a cascading drive, I think. I'm going to start with the presence maybe a little bit lower, and then This amp was really designed to be super versatile, so okay, so can do those sort of lower gain clipped tones, but if we really crank the overdrive, can do some really cool high gain stuff as well. So crank both of the gains. I think it uses KT88s in the power amp section, power tubes. Yeah, KT88s. But you can hear that that can clearly go all the way from, you know, reasonable amounts of gain to crazy. It sounds to me like that tone stack is more or less more like Marshall than the Mesa Boogie sort of Mark style. It sounds to me like that's post. But it's got a lovely clarity to it. The kind of, it's not getting too flubby in the bass. What if we drive it a bit more? I might consider setting the cabs slightly differently. So if we go to A, so we got 775 and 784, 775, 784. What I might do if I'm using this amount of gain is start to introduce a high cut 6 dB, you know, around that kind of point to but yeah, let's have let's keep drive and then even more drive. We've got kind of 3 simple bits and pieces. That needs to be back to B. Just a really, really great amp, not difficult to dial in, to be honest. Let's just stick a bit of a delay on for the lead tones and digital stereo. Beautiful. If you want to grab my presets, you can do so following the Gumroad link, but hopefully you can kind of follow along and build your own preset around your own preferences. That's just how I like to kind of experiment with some of the amps in the Fractal world, and this one seems to be one of Cliff's favourites. Hope you find that slightly helpful if you're looking for different bits and pieces to check out in the Fractal world. I think that's a really, really cool amp. Feel free to chime in below if this caused you to buy a real one. I think there's a few people on the forum that have said that I bought a real Carol Ann Tucana because they fell in love with this model. I'll catch you in another video soon.